What's happening? Well, I figured I'd give you an update on where I'm at with this dresser. Okie doke. So let me come around this way. Now you might be able to get a look on it. Look at this piece of cherry, huh? What I love about figure material is like, look, it's gonna look totally different from this side. Yeah? So that means you gotta pay attention front to back on how to build things. The last video I did, I was just talking about, you know, the chatoyancy of the legs, the reflection of the light, and how I wanted those tiger stripes to look the way they do, and how I wanted to look on the bottom. It looks a little lighter just because that's the way the light's reflecting off of it. And then the same on this post over here, so it looks uniform, right? And like I was saying earlier, well, in the last video, it's really easy stuff for me to think about the joinery. It's all just mortise and tenons. I put that groove in the sides. That's gonna be for the panels, right? The piece in the back is just whatever, just holding it together. So the next thing I need to do is decide on my panels, my side panels. And this is what it looked like right here. And I thought I picked a pretty good piece. I resawed it. It's not easy keeping this stuff flat, but I feel as though it's not terrible. Let me throw it up on the bench. Just to give you an idea, because look at it from this orientation, it looks crazy, right? But when you look at it from here, you see it doesn't look like it has much pizzazz. So you have to look at it and analyze it. Front to back, you gotta spin it around 100 times to make your decisions on how you want this piece to look. Now my client told me that she wanted this end to look really great because this is the side of it that you see walking into the bedroom. And since I decided on this top already, I need to try to incorporate some of the aspects of what this grain is telling me into my side panel. So you can kind of see how it has this curve right here. And it has all this quarter-sawn right here on the end. See what I'm saying? Then it goes to flat, quarter-sawn again. So I'm trying to incorporate this stuff into the side panel. And I think I got it figured out. Let me see, right there. You see? So since it's a little big, I can kind of keep it 3/8, whatever on this side. I can cut most of this off this side. And I like how the angle of this line, this grain line right here, growth ring line, whatever, goes off kind of on the same angle. So it's gonna look pretty similar, right? Although I'm not 100% committed because I'm looking at this right here. And I think if I had that over a little bit more, it might look a little better. But who knows? It's pretty much a done deal depending on what side of the piece of wood I cut off. As long as I indicate what's what. Now I want this to be the outside face because this face just isn't doing it for me. And I feel like the grain is going in the wrong direction compared to the top. So it doesn't make any sense to me in my brain, you know? So I'm gonna stick with it, I think this way. And just because this piece looks really great from here, it doesn't mean it's gonna look very great from here. Although it looks pretty awesome, right? I wonder what this side looks like. And this is what I struggle with. Trying to bring out, wow, look at that, huh? That's crazy. You know, it'd be nice if like all this light was bouncing off of this piece of wood in this orientation, but it really doesn't, especially when it's down here. So again, just because something looks a certain way on a bench doesn't mean that's the way it's going to look on your product, on your project when it's finalized. So with this one, I think I'm going to do the same thing. Even though there's less flecking or whatever of this kind of thing going on, it still has the same kind of pattern on the panel. So I feel like that's gonna look pretty great. another thing, you see the sapwood right here in the front? I tried to cut it off, but there was just no cutting it off, unfortunately. So I wasn't planning on incorporating any kind of sapwood into this at all, but I don't want it to just be sitting on the top like it's a mistake or an afterthought. So this piece over here, it has just enough sapwood on the front. You see that? That I'm gonna be able to get 2 panels out of that. And we're gonna put it right here. You see where I got it laid out 1.25 inches. And then down here again, it's 1.25 inches. You see that? So I think I'm gonna be able to incorporate that sapwood into those vertical partitions. And then maybe I have a piece of 1/2 inch going across the top right here. So I'm gonna get a piece of sapwood for there. And when it comes to the doors and drawers, I think I have some sapwood in the drawers that I can incorporate. And I think I don't have any in the doors. Oh, there's just a little bit. Okay, you see it? Alrighty. So I think I'm gonna be able to incorporate the little bit of sapwood that I have on my pots into the front of this piece. So it doesn't look like I just threw a piece on the top and it made no sense. Not that that would be my, it's not the thing I wanted to do from the get-go, but it's something that I always have to be aware of and consider when I'm building a piece of furniture, because I can't control every aspect of the material, right? And the trade-off was, well, if I want a 20-inch top, do I cut this beautiful piece, cut it in half, and then have a seam down the middle? And I just decided that that's not what I wanted to do, because ultimately I want the natural beauty of the material to speak volumes in my projects. So if I need to switch it up on the fly every once in a while and change my thoughts or what I expected this thing to look like to what it is gonna look like, that's okay with me, Just getting some coffee. It's gonna be a long day. Well, not that long, it ain't bad. I mean, this is pretty easy stuff for me. So once I get this stuff figured out, like my plan for today and tomorrow is to get these panels milled down. Like the problem with this kind of cherry, you see it's got all this tear out. So I need to deal with all that tear out, make sure I don't trash it. So the front of the panel is gonna look great. Then before I actually glue this panel together, I'll sand everything on the inside of this whole thing. I'll make it look as perfect as possible, and then I'll just glue it on. Once I get the sides glued on, I can glue the bottom and the top together, and then all my dividers for the drawers and the doors, I'm gonna cut with a router. Whew. All right, well, yeah, I appreciate you guys following along. The videos ain't the greatest, but what do you expect? I'm in here trying to bang on a living. I just got my camera in my hand, you know what I mean?